Next, we will do a lot of beveling with the pointed beveler, the number F902 pointed beveler. For instance, the ear that you see right here, I will use this to form the hair openings in the ear, as you can see. Now, it's very important to get these endings going in the right direction. We will now form the outer part of the ear. Notice how I am turning the tool as I go around to match the angle of the cuts. And here I'm rather close together with my tool impressions. And now not only am I forming the ear, I'm also getting the hair endings in the right direction. Now, next we'll work on this part of the face. Since this hair is a little more shaggy here, I'm stamping a little deeper and a little further apart. Here's a better look at what we have done so far. As you can see, we're now shaping the side of the head. As we go along here with our pointed beveler, we are separating the ends of these rough hairs from the face, so we're not stamping real deep, but we are stamping rather further apart than we normally would, because this is a rough area in through here. So we kind of do that way, and not too careful because we want it to be rather rough looking. So you can agitate the tool in and out as you go. And this is how this will look. We'll now go around the top, and we'll do that a little deeper, because now we'll be outside of the animal. Here again, this is kind of rough, so agitate the tool as you go, but make sure you keep the endings going in the right direction. This is how our buffalo head looks after we have done practically all of the beveling. I'm now going to use an A104 background tool, and I'm going to texture inside the nostrils a little bit. This is just to make it look a little darker and to make the opening look better. I don't know if you have noticed, but up until this point, all of the stamping tools we've used, we've started with the larger and more blunt tools and worked down to sharper tools. This is because as our leather gets drier, the sharper tools work better. I've used the large figure beveler to sort of dish the inside of the ears, not mashing down the edge. Now we will be doing a lot of work with the swivel knife. Please note now I'm coming off the ends where we did the beveling with the pointed bevelers and maintaining that angle. I'm coming back toward the nose. And here again, vary the depth of your cuts so that they don't look like the animal is well groomed. If you want, you can turn it and cut from the inside out as well. So take your time. You'll be doing a lot of this cutting. Very important is to maintain the proper direction or angle of these cuts. And we will be doing practically the whole animal except for parts of the nose. We will be making the hair with this swivel knife. When we get up around the eye, we will be making much smaller and cuts that are not quite as deep, just short little stabs almost. We'll do that all around the eye, being careful not to cut the eye, and being careful to get everything going in the right direction. Refer to the drawing by Tony if you do not really know what direction these hairs should be going. Now the ears, we will start from the tips and come in. Just come in part way. Same with the top of the ear. Lighter cuts up here. Now inside of the ear, we'll make long, rather deep cuts. This gives you some idea of what the ear looks like in the area around the eye and the side of the face. For the lower lip, I'm going to put some shallow cuts in here below the nose and not real deep. Just kind of texturing it a little bit with the knife. And I will turn it 180 degrees and do the same thing over the edge. Just some tiny little cuts. Now to the nose, I'll just use the tip of the knife and put some little hair endings on there, just kind of texturing slightly. And now for the main part of the nose that we see here, I'm going to take my knife and just kind of scratch some hair on there. Not as deep as we did out here. And we got to bring it in sort of to the center. And then on the other side, we will do the same thing. We'll start it out here and bring it in, and then slowly blend it into the center. And this pretty much completes the front part of the face. We'll now work on the top part. Notice these are long, deep, rough cuts here, and they'll all come toward the center up here where the cowlick is. Coming in off the edge where we use the pointed beveler and working our way up to the cowlick center here. And here we have a view of the top of the head. I have added a little bit of water to my carving and waited a few minutes for it to begin to return to its natural color. Now I'm going to use two matting tools, the number M882 and M884, and we will use them to create texture around the outside of our carving. As you can see, I'm creating some texture now. I'm careful not to match or not to mash down the tips of my hair. And also notice that as I'm stamping, I'm not really walking this tool. I'm lifting it up each time and rotating it. Now after I get a little deeper in close, I'll go to the larger tool and I will taper it off from the deep part out to infinity. Now we do this all the way around the animal. And here is your buffalo head, all ready for your favorite dyeing and finishing technique.